Hello, welcome to the weather update. Another gloomy day. It's 9:30, January 5th, 2023. Stuck in the clouds again. Some spotty drizzle and light rain around as well. You can see all the clouds. We have a warm front that is stalled off just to our, again, this is a backdoor front, but it is stalled. And this was generating all the clouds. This you can see is the warm sector over here off to the west. And the sun really tried to come out in parts of New Jersey, west, like the Philadelphia suburbs. But other than that, everybody was pretty much stuck in the clouds today. Excuse me. Looking at the radar. Now I gotta get a napkin. Yeah, I am sorry about that. I only sneeze in here, by the way. When I'm on the outside, doesn't happen. It's very dusty in here, I guess. But anyway, let's show you. Seen the radar right here. You'll be able to see again all these little light showers that have been around. That's all there is light rain. Looking at the temperatures, we're in the mid 40s. It's been the mid and upper 40s all day. Again, just gray, overcast skies. A little damp out there, and again, you got that spotty drizzle. Let's take a look at what the highs were today, and I'm sure we'll see a big difference between. All right, so Long Island generally only in the low 50s, North Shore even colder in the upper 40s. But if you go and you look at New Jersey, a lot warmer there, 60 degrees. So they got a little closer to that warm sector, and that made it quite a bit warmer there compared to Long Island. So looking at the larger radar here. This is the other radar here. You'll see, yes, this is what we're going to be dealing with a little later tonight. Some more rain overnight, unfortunately, and then some small rain chances tomorrow as well. And then if we go and we look at California, again, we're going to go and look at that. This storm system here, eventually it loads. You'll see all the rain. And look, what's this? It's the next system. That's right. There's another wave coming. So it's literally a conga line of waves that just keeps crashing to the west coast. This pattern is not only horrible for them. Well, I mean, they're getting rain. I guess that's good, but the problem is it's a lot of rain and they're getting a lot of flooding. Not only that, but it's also keeping us in this just gloomy pattern. It's a zonal pattern, one system after another. There's no clear skies. There's no large high pressure systems. None of that. So you can see it looks like it is starting to clear out of California, but again, you see that next system right there. Let's see if we can go a little further here. Doesn't really go any further out than that. We could do Northern Pacific, I guess. We could do that. Yeah, this shows the story right here. So look at all these waves here. You got, let's mark them out here. You got 1, you got 2, you got 3. So these are just going to keep on coming as we get this just fire hose of just moisture that is just coming in. I could draw the fire hose here in green, but it's just coming in to one system after another into California. And that is the problem that we're dealing with right now. And we'll go and we'll look at the MODIS satellite next to show you again what we're dealing with here. And this just pattern is horrible. It's a horrible pattern to have if you want nice weather. For us, it's just hard. Well, it looks like there is clear skies in other parts of the country over here. About here, we're dealing with, again, we've got the ridge that's kind of blocking up this front here. And then by the time this moves out of the way, the next system comes in. So you got one after another after another. You can see, again, look at them all lined up here in the Pacific. So we've got plenty more storms that are going to be affecting California throughout this week, unfortunately. And the storms are causing damage. If we go back this up a little bit here. We'll go over here. It says, deadly mix of bomb cyclone atmospheric river drenches the west coast. So the worst of wind and water combined Wednesday as a potent storm fueled by an atmospheric river intensified into a bomb cyclone, walloping the west coast with hurricane-strength winds and flooding downpours. At least 2 people died in the bomb cyclone that struck the west coast Wednesday into Thursday, the second massive storm to hit the coast in less than a week. Fueled by an atmospheric river from the Pacific Ocean, the potent storm unleashed a fury of strong wind and rain across the west coast that quickly turned deadly. So we've seen, unfortunately, a 19-year-old woman from Fairfield, California, was killed Wednesday when her car hydroplaned into a partially flooded road. You always have to be careful with the flooding. You know what they say, turn around, don't drown. Seaside homes in the Bay Area were evacuated to some of the damage here that has occurred here. And, of course, there's lots of power outages. The pressure dropped by 0.86 of an inch of mercury between 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Tuesday and 4 a.m. So in 12 hours, the pressure almost dropped by an inch. So this is crazy. So this process strengthens the winds, and these are the wind gusts. Look at these wind gusts. These are incredible wind gusts. Most of these are on the top of mountains, but that's still incredible. Firefighters were responding nonstop calls early in the morning on Thursday. Trees came crashing down, power lines, of course. 26,000 power outages recorded in just San Mateo County alone. And over 138,000 customers, of course, California, particularly on the coastal counties of Northern California, remain without electric. So, again, this is another look at this storm here. This is an atmospheric river, so this is the latest thing. And by Wednesday, downtown San Francisco measured its wettest stretch of 10 days. The site received 10.33 inches through December 26th through January 4th. And the all-time 10-day record was 14.37 in January 1862. So they haven't broken that yet, but it's just incredible to see what's going on there on the West Coast. And it's just another part of what this pattern is. This messed up weather pattern that we're dealing with. And you can see California still dealing with 88,000 power outages now, mostly in those coastal counties like Mendocino. So let's go back to the models here, and we'll talk about this setup here that we're dealing with again in the atmosphere, and what's changed since the last time we did the weather update, because unfortunately things have changed, and that trough for next week that was going to bring the cool down, well, it's not there anymore. So it's backed off quite a bit. So you can sort of see this little trough here, but there's no cold air connected to it. Here's that trough along the west. This is very messed up. And there, look at that. There's that fire hose jet, literally just a zonal jet right across the Pacific. And as we move this along, you see it doesn't change very much. Look over here at the Pacific Ocean here, and you see this doesn't change very much. And as long as we have this, then we're not going to see any winter anytime soon in our area. And it continues right through the period. It only starts to maybe look a little better, and again, that carrot and the stick again. So looking at our area here, it's off the West Coast, you'll see here that as we head into the weekend, there's no really big troughs. That trough for next week looks very shallow. It almost evaporates. And then another just messed up. Look at that. I mean, that storm, actually, that setup could be another rainmaker for another soaker for next weekend, not this upcoming weekend. But you can see with the pattern like this, there's no winter. We're not getting winter. It's absolutely nuts. So let's go and take a look at the 500 MB height anomaly here. So this is the 500 MB height anomaly, and you'll see here again, not really any troughs in the east, just lots of ridges. There's no sign of winter anywhere on this map, all the way through January 21st. Looked like we were going to get a little bit. Now the model's taking it away. It's just unbelievable. We may not actually get a winter this year, and we barely got one last year, except for that one big snowstorm. So I mean, and there wasn't that much cold weather. I mean, this is unbelievable. It's like we had our Arctic air, and that was it. The winter's over. For 5 days we had winter, and now it's over. Very, very disturbing. So I want to go back to the upper air, and I want to show you again what's changed. What has changed? So let's go to next week here. All right, we're supposed to have this trough next week. All right, I'll put it there. All right, so again, this is the 18Z run of the GFS. So let me roll this back to the 0Z run of the GFS, and you can see that trough has a totally different look to it. You can see it goes, it's deeper. All right, especially when I go to the 18Z run, it's even deeper there. All right, now we go to the current. Oh no, that is the current one. I want the 0Z run. Yeah, so you can see it's deeper. I'm going to go to the 18Z run from yesterday. You can see it's a deeper trough. Now when you go to the 18Z run from today, you can see, look at that. There's barely anything there. So the jet stream's like pretty much not, there's no jet stream. Where's the jet stream? It's not there. So barely a jet stream. There's pieces of it here, but that's it. And so with a pattern like that, and then you see the ridge develop again by Friday, and then there's another storm system. So with the pattern like this, and you can see just one storm system after another because of this fire hose jet that we have, this specific pattern. I remember it was a winter back in, I don't know, this reminds me of, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably like maybe 7 years ago, maybe, where we had literally no cold air. And this winter, it looks like it's going to follow that same pattern. I mean, there's no end in sight to this. So I'm going to look at the European now and just show you the 12Z run of the European, because you get a little more out of that, and see if it shows us any relief from this. And it does have a bigger trough for next week, at least. It looks like it's got a bigger trough for next week. So at least we can get some, maybe a little more cold air in here. But other than that, it's a little more encouraging. But the problem is the European hasn't had the same track record that the GFS has had. All right. So we go to the upper air here. And let's go to the European one now. And we'll compare our two main long-range models that we have to work with here. And you'll see the European, it does have that deeper trough there, all right? But still no real deeper trough. We got this ridge in eastern Canada, trough over Greenland. So you want to have a ridge over here, and you want to have some blocking. There is no blocking, none at all. So, winter is nowhere to be found. So, and I don't think we can do... Oh, we can do the temperature anomaly chart with the European. Okay, so let's do that. We'll do the temperature anomaly chart with the European first. And then I'll make this... I'll put this down to the CONUS view here. All right, so this is tomorrow. You can see just lots of red across the whole country. Everybody's above normal. There's no cold air in sight. So there's a little bit that tries to get through next week. This is the European model. It tries to bring in some around Thursday. But then it's gone, all right? This is the European model, all right? So this is the 12Z European model. But the problem is now we go to the GFS model, and we'll see what happens with the GFS model. You see that cold air just doesn't even come down. It stays way to the north. We don't even get into it at all. And then we're just above normal again for the rest of the month. And it looks like another crazy warm-up around January the 18th as well. It's just not never-ending. What's going on? It's just we really need to be very alarmed about this. All right, this is another proof of how we're not going to have winters anymore. We're going to have 2 seasons, summer and spring, and that's it. All right, we're not having winter anymore. Fall's gone, winter's gone. You're only going to have summer and spring, and that's it. Maybe with maybe a week or two of winter thrown in between. That's what you're getting. So we go look at the surface map. You'll see here. All right, so this is the surface map for tomorrow. You see, again, that low that's sort of like slowly, meandering its way out. We should eventually get rid of the rain, and then we'll have a dry weekend before the next weak system comes in late Sunday night into Monday with some light precipitation, maybe a few flakes. I don't see any major accumulations. And then we get the next week, and you see that storm there. The storm still stays suppressed to the south, but that high, instead of diving down, stays way up in Canada and keeps its cold air up there. We don't get into it. We're stuck in the zonal flow, and boom, once that moves out, here comes the next storm system. And this is going to be the soaker, possibly next Saturday, a big soaker for next Saturday. Again, a warm soaker with that. Now, of course, if this evolved differently and there was cold air, this could have been a big snowstorm, but that's not what it looks like right now. And then high builds in behind it, and then look at that, another low right behind it, and then and then maybe a little cold air around Thursday, maybe. But, I mean, this is just a terrible, terrible pattern we're in. So we're going to take a look locally and see what it's doing to our area as far as, look at our rain chances now, and we'll take a look and see what our rain chances are. So here we go. So, again, you can see those showers tonight, chance of showers tonight into tomorrow morning. Hopefully it's out of here by later in the morning, but then there could still be a scattered shower or two at noon through the afternoon into the possibly evening hours. First, very widely scattered because, again, we still have moisture in the air. There's no dry air, and there's no real dry air here to speak of. And then for Saturday, we at least we don't have any precipitation. Well, actually, it is trying to generate a few showers on Saturday, too, because we're still going to have lingering moisture and somewhat of cyclonic flow. There's no high pressure here, so it's bringing a few showers through Saturday afternoon. I mean, every damn day we have rain, even though we're not getting a lot of it. Every damn day we're getting it, and it's annoying. It's gloomy, it's depressing, and it's just continuing, unfortunately. So let's go to the HRRR, and we'll look at the dew points next. That'll kind of tell the story as to why we're still seeing these rain chances. So you're looking at Friday here. Still got the east winds for Friday. Here we are Friday. East winds, still east winds. And that's what's going to keep the moisture around. Then the winds go northerly more toward the afternoon and northwesterly. That'll bring in somewhat drier air. But you see there isn't really any major dry air here. All right, dew points drop a little bit Saturday. But the really dry air stays way up in Canada. Way up in Canada. So with that and the little bit of instability in the air, we could have, we'll hit the sounding, might as well show you the sounding for Saturday here and you see these two meeting, all right, which means clouds. This also means clouds too, so we're gonna have clouds as well. You want to see these two lines farther apart, so there's less clouds, but we're gonna have plenty of clouds on Saturday. All right, let's go to our temperatures and tomorrow too, so don't expect to see too much sun. Here we are for tomorrow, and tomorrow will be colder. We'll have highs in the mid 40s, maybe upper 40s for the south in New Jersey. Still above normal. And then we drop down into the mid 30s at night. Now, mind you, normally these are supposed to be our highs for January, but instead those are our lows. And then as we get into Saturday, it'll be a little colder with highs in the low 40s, so at least it'll feel a little more like it should. But we won't have much sun to enjoy that with, unfortunately. I'm going to shift this over now to the GFS. And we will, again, shift this over and look at our dew points and wind flow. So here is your wind flow here, and you'll see here winds westerly, northwesterly, light, but at least that'll bring in the drier air. And then Sunday is when we could get into a little more sunshine. You see a little more of that dry air coming down, northerly winds. And we might, before the next system comes in, we might actually see some blue sky, at least for a few hours. Just maybe. But then that moves out. We have our next system come in. There's going to be a warm push, a little bit of not too much of a warm push, but these dew points rise enough that it probably will be more of a rain event than a snow event. And then you'll see more of a northwest flow on Monday there, and I'll just show you again next week what was supposed to happen. See, this cold air, well, this is still trying to come down a little bit, so we're still seeing this, but you'll see the northeast, now it's more of a northeast flow. All right, because there's a stalled front over here. So with that, we don't know if we're going to clear out or not. This is next Thursday, right? And it's only one day that we get into this colder air. And then once by Friday, boom, winds go southeasterly. And look at that. This is the big soaker storm that you can see the reflection of that for next weekend. And then here's for the rest, so you can look at that, another shot of humidity. So we're going to have more. We're not done with the warmth and the humidity for this month. Don't put that air conditioner away yet. Mine stays in the window year-round now because of climate change. Remember when you used to take your air conditioners out of the window? Well, now you can't do that anymore. So let's go and look at our actual air temperatures. So here we are for Saturday. It will be cooler there. And then Sunday will wind up being a little cool, maybe just a little bit cooler, maybe upper 30s. I still think we'll hit 40 probably. And then as we get into Monday, you can see there's that system there going by to the south, their reflection of that. And the temperatures come up. And then here's what was supposed to be our cold air. We're only going to get it for maybe one day, and that one day we're still going to make it into the mid-30s. So this is one day that we might actually have an average high, a normal high. But other than that, everything is above normal, all right? Because that pulls out. Temperatures rise into the 40s Friday. Here comes your soaker with the humidity. Temperatures shooting up into the 50s again. And then Sunday behind it, maybe we'll have a low 40s. And then you can see it's just no... And then look what happens as we get toward the next Tuesday there. I mean, it's just another shot of really warm air into the area. Here we go again. Possibly another record-breaking day around Wednesday, January 18th. Then some cooler air comes in or tries to come in, 40s. But you can see there's only one day here where the temperature, only one day in this entire forecast, maybe just a few, where the high temperature is actually normal for January. So, yeah, winter is nowhere in sight. I think that's how I'm going to title this weather update. And again, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the rain here. And you see you can see the rain chances. So this is, again, after we're done with this, our next rain chance would be overnight Sunday and the Monday with light precipitation with that weak low there to the south. And then here comes the soaker. Again, that's modeled. And there could be some pretty strong winds with this, too, with those really tight isobars. There could be a pretty big LLJ with that. Yeah, look at that. Wow, this could be another tropical-type storm system if it winds up taking that track. And, of course, there would also be We'd also have, let me go to the wave height. We'd also have some bad waves too. So yeah, this we'll have to watch this storm closely. It's still a ways out, but the model keeps hinting on a big storm. Originally was supposed, I mean, we just don't have any nice weather to tell you about. I mean, so let's go to the skies, and that's the main bummer about this. You can't even get a clear sky out of this. So here's the GFS tomorrow. Obviously, we're gonna have plenty of clouds around. Saturday, plenty of clouds. And the problem is Sunday, yeah, we might have a clear sky Sunday morning, but then, boom, the cirrus rolls in ahead of the next system. I know this is a low-resolution model. We'll look at a couple of the other models in a little bit after I'm done with this, just to show you the general pattern. Monday, we got the clouds, clear it out, and then, boom, Tuesday, clouds come in. Next to them, here comes a storm leaving, and then that high tries to build in, but it may not be enough to clear us out next Thursday. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky and have, like I said, one day where we'll have blue sky for most of the day. All right, but then behind that, here's the next system. And then here we are. The weekend, stuck in the clouds. And I'm not going to go any further beyond that because it's just too variable. All right, so let me go to the RGM next. This is the RGM, and the RGM does show some encouragement. Obviously, tomorrow we're stuck in the clouds. They might try to break up in the afternoon and the evening a little bit. For Saturday, it'll be a partly sunny day. There'll be some clouds, but maybe you'll see a little bit of the sun. But it is this model here for Sunday that seems to want to give us a clear sky, at least on Long Island, and keep this cirrus off to the south. I'll have to see if that winds up happening or not. Again, this is the RGM that we are looking at here. All right. FV3, we only have 22 hours of the FV3, and so I can't use that. So we can go to the NAM3, which again, we have 51 of that, the 0Z run of that. We can sort of use the NAM, again, to show you. Here's Saturday, plenty of clouds, and then that's as far as it goes out for Sunday. All right. So that's sort of like what we got going on right now. Just a really crappy pattern that we're in, just horrible. One of the worst. This is by far one of the worst Januaries I've ever seen in my life. As far as the pattern in the atmosphere, it's very, very abnormal. We should all be very upset. We should all be, Washington should be. We got to tackle this right now. We've got to cut our emissions. But no, that's not happening. People are too greedy to think about that. And what's going on is our atmosphere is in crisis right now. I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up. They probably will never wake up until, it is already too late. We're already screwed. So. We're already screwed. So the planet is in some serious trouble. Lastly, I'm going to go to the ice analysis. Let's do that. Let's go to the ice analysis. I got to find it. Where is it? We can also do the climate prediction center. I'm sure you'll see. Yep, above normal, 6 to 10. And above normal. Again, the whole country is above normal. Look at this. There isn't one area that's below normal. And precipitation's above normal, too. So this crap is going to continue. All right, so now let's go to the ice center, and we'll see if there's any new updates on this here. December lows. All right, here we go. So here we go. The daily extent of Arctic sea ice for December 22 remained well below average for the entire month. At the end of the month, extent stood at the 4th lowest in satellite record. The average extent for the month ended up as 7th lowest in the satellite record. Antarctic extent is declining much faster than average as austral summer takes hold and is setting record low daily ice extents for the satellite era of December 22nd. As such, global sea ice extent is well below average. So let me explain to you what that does for all you dumb people out there. We have less ice, so there's less sunlight reflected, all right? More heat being absorbed by the planet, which melts more ice. You see how that becomes a positive feedback cycle? And how not only, as I said before in other videos, do we need to cut down our consumption, but we need to actively intervene in reducing the solar radiation to the surface. And honestly, I believe we have the technology to do it, but again, the will is just not there. There's no political will, and thus we are going to continue dig ourselves deeper and deeper into this mess as we burn to death on a scorching earth. All right, so let's go to the. This is what the sea ice extent map looks like here, and you see again large areas where there isn't sea ice, where there should be sea ice. All right, so it's not just us that's warm; it's the whole Arctic that's warm. All right. Here we go. 2022 to 23. We're at the bottom here, scraping the bottom here at this. So we are at the bottom to keep, just getting an idea of what's happening here. And here's your air temperature departure from average. Look at all these areas that were well above normal here. Not many below normal, mostly above. All right. It's just another example of what we're dealing with. So all this, I'm going to link all this below. You can read this site. So you can really appreciate how screwed we are on this planet of ours as humanity continues to drive their pickup trucks and live an excessive lifestyle, particularly in this country. And it's only going to get worse. For those of us who like winter and like those clear, cold days, they're getting harder and harder to find, and eventually we may just not get them at all anymore. And that's going to be really sad, but I see that happening. This forecast sucks. That's the bottom line. One of the worst January forecasts I've ever had to make since I've been doing these weather updates. We are in just one of the worst patterns I've ever seen. And it's only going to get worse from here. So thank you for watching, and have a good night.